Let's get analysis with John Herbst. He was the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine from 2003 to 2006 and joins us from Brussels in Belgium. Ambassador, good to get your thoughts on all of this. Firstly, what do you make of these comments from Trump, and why has he made these accusations against Zelenskyy and Ukraine?
I think actually pretty simple. Trump does not like when people criticize him, and Trump thought that the meeting in Riyadh was just wonderful, when it did have a problematic aspect, which was the one, absence of Ukraine, but two, the sense that this was about not just ending Russia's aggression in Ukraine, but maybe normalizing the U.S.-Ukraine relationship. So the fact that Zelenskyy was not enthusiastic about that led to Trump's first criticism of Zelenskyy. And then when Zelenskyy responded to that criticism, Trump escalated. So it's like, a schoolyard brawl when kids are throwing sand at each other.
It does seem like a lot of ego-based back and forth here. But when it comes to these actual negotiations that could bring a peace to this war, how do those comments then affect such talks?
Well, as long as both President Trump and President Zelenskyy recognize their interest in Trump's original intention, which I think is still there, to achieve a durable peace, things will be all right. But this dust-up, and for that matter, the meeting in Riyadh, a little bit got in the way of that, because Trump was right when he said 2 or 3 days into his new presidency, the obstacle to peace is Putin, who has expressed no interest in compromising, whereas Zelenskyy has expressed an interest in compromising. Therefore, Trump's efforts, if he wants to get a quick, stable peace done, is to bring pressure on Putin to be willing to compromise. And so when he and Zelenskyy are throwing brickbats at each other, that tells Putin he can just sit back and wait. And that's not a good thing for Ukraine. It's not a good thing for the United States. It is a good thing for Russia.
Yeah, because Putin certainly looks right now like he's the cat who got the cream, because Russia doesn't seem to have to compromise right now, of course, but we are in the very early stages of all of this. Donald Trump has also said that this war in Ukraine is no real threat to the United States because there's an ocean that separates the US from Europe. But how true is that when it comes to the national security of the United States, both at home and abroad?
Well, I could quote Donald Trump to the effect that it is important to the United States. He said in April, when he gave the go-ahead for the aid package to Ukraine, that Ukraine's survival is important to the United States. And it is important. In fact, it's critical because Putin wants to rearrange the map of Europe. He wants to have effective political control of Ukraine. He wants to then restore Russian influence in Eastern Europe, meaning over NATO allies. And the place to stop Putin's aggression is in Ukraine, a large country fighting well for its survival. And of course, if Putin were to win in Ukraine, that would make it much more likely that Xi, who is also an adversary of the United States, would go on to move on Taiwan.
And just finally, John, one of the things that Trump said in that post he put on his Truth social media platform was that money is missing in Ukraine. And this is money that the United States has given millions and millions of dollars now over the course of 3 years. Is that a valid point at all, especially given that Trump has run and has promised Americans that he will ensure that their taxpayer money is being used in the right ways and he will stop government wastage?
There has been very close oversight of the aid we've sent to Ukraine, and there's been no major scandals reported on this. And it's also worth noting that, I don't know if it's 40% or 50% of the aid we sent to Ukraine is actually dollars that the United States government sends to American factories producing weapons which replace the weapons that we send to Ukraine. So, I mean, President Trump has said many things that are not factually correct. His staff needs to do a much better job of informing him of what is true and what is not.
Yeah, his aides certainly have a lot on their plates right now. John Herbst, fantastic to get your thoughts. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.